Hey guys, welcome to Tetris Tuesdays at 10. I'm Ryan, and excuse me if I'm fascinated over here. We're still knee deep, as I say, in the glut of Tetris games that Mirrorsoft put out in '88 while they could. And today we're doing the ZX Spectrum, which ZX Spectrum just sounds better. Just admit it. But I'm reading the Wikipedia on the ZX, and it is fascinating. So you'll have to excuse me. I'm reluctant for many reasons to just read you straight from Wikipedia, but learning a lot here. We've done a few of these already, these microcomputers, which is a bit different for me. I mentioned at least some week ago that I had one, but I should look up whatever brand it was at some point because I have no idea. And it was nowhere near as advanced as anything that we've done so far with the Amstrad and the ZX today. But apparently Britain was all about the microcomputer, and this one in particular really dominated the market, it turns out. Let me just read you this a little bit about Sir Clive Sinclair, even, who was well known for his eccentricity and pioneering ethic. On the 25th of July 1961, 3 years after passing his A-levels, he founded Sinclair Radionics, and I'm loving just all of these devices that he came out with. He competed with Texas Instruments to produce the world's first pocket calculator, the Sinclair Executive. I gotta get a picture of this thing. After that, handheld miniature televisions, and ill-fated black watch, wristwatch, which ill-fated, but it was called the Black Watch. This guy seems like he might have been talented at branding to some extent as well, but after that, like I said, that was in the 60s and 70s. He went ahead with his microcomputer, and this was, I think I mentioned this as well, an earlier version. Like there's a chance we maybe should have done this version of Tetris before any of the others, but given that they all came out in 1988, it's just that the device might have been a little bit older, and we're going to emulate the 128 K version, so named for its 120 KB of RAM that it came with, as opposed to the 48K version, which I guess there were actually two versions of Tetris. The 48K version had different music and different sound effects, and I guess the lines couldn't clear all at once. That was part of the processing limitation, I guess. The 128K version that we're going to play, you will see, has different title music, but it'll sound familiar. It does look different enough that I decided to do a separate episode on it, but it's going to sound kind of familiar if you were around last week at the very least. It says it has options allowed for either music or sound effects, but I haven't run into those yet, so we'll see. But yeah, the ZX Spectrum apparently went nuts, sold millions, somewhat made the UK resistant to the video game crash, and these microcomputers were largely where people played their games until Nintendo and Sega kind of upended that in 91. So really fascinating. And this device in particular, like, I kind of want one. They look really cool. They're this tiny little thing. Very cool, but have not looked up how much they actually are. So we're not going to use a real one today. Eventually we will get to that point in this series. I'm going to try and use actual devices instead of emulation. But today we're going to emulate, as you can see here. And as you can tell, it's the 128K version, because there it is. But this streamlines things a little bit. One day I will pull the trigger on like actual loading times and whatnot, but this is a tape loader. So I did a test. I turned off all of the quick things. Oh, we're using Fuse, by the way. Big thanks to people at Fuse, which is very stable if you don't try and resize the window on my M1 Mac at least, or if you do it very quickly. If it tries to I don't know what you would say, redo the resolution too many times too quickly, it'll crash the program. So if you're going to do that, just open up the window very quickly or go to full screen mode or whatever. It might be because I'm using front row on my Mac as well. I don't know. Sometimes that is a little glitchy, but it does come with a tape loader. If I turned everything off, it felt like a good 10 minutes of loading. So, and not like quiet, contemplative 10 minutes of loading. It's the sounds. Speaking of which, let's see if I can dial in with you guys here. We'll avoid most of those, again, with all the the quick loading options here, but what an experience otherwise. The way it does work, though, if you were to do it in real life, was you would click on the tape loader option, and then this you can't see, but you would go load the tape. And it automatically does it for you, and it does it very quickly. But you would then play the tape on that tape loading screen, and it would get into it. So let's actually connect my headphones so I can hang out with you guys. And you can tell me if this sounds familiar here. The Amstrad had the same music, and we might run into it again for all I know. Again, they're all developed by Microsoft, so it's not all that surprising, but I can't say I wanted to listen to more of it after last week, so this will be an interesting exercise at the very least. Nope. Okay. The interesting thing with some of these microcomputers is that the keyboards don't match up completely. So while I am emulating this because I did want to use a keyboard instead of a joystick, I think my other option was RetroArch or Arc. Does have a ZX emulator as well, but not great keyboard support, surprisingly enough. So emulated it on my Mac this time around, like I mentioned. We'll start on 0 as well. And they kind of throw a curveball here at you because it's IPO are the main controls, but still spacebar to drop. So what would it be if I didn't actually, it seems, against all smart practices, actually try and do a Tetris here. So let's see how that works out for me. But you can see visually different than, what I've been doing. Pretty readable. Spacebar didn't take that time. Interesting. But sometimes I have noticed the pieces. Hey, look at that. So yeah, no sound effect for the lines clearing, which means this probably was a music or sound choice. Can't have it both. I'm just gonna. We're going for a high score. I'm going to stay away from the Tetrises here that have not been so friendly to me because, and I believe this is the same, still no 7-bag system. So it's not truly random because that's hard for a computer, but it's also not the system that makes it so I don't get a number of pieces all in a row. Which, if you've been tuning in, happens. Again, I don't know if this is emulator or this is how the ZX was, but I am noticing it's not registering my spacebar here and there. So, otherwise, seems really responsive, honestly. Again, no idea if the ZX was responsive, but there actually is there's like a shadow. Can you see that? It's a little kind of throws me off, but I guess I can use to place a little bit. But like in the case of on the right there, it's actually hard to tell. Like I think that goes all the way down. Yeah, it does. Okay. But also those blue L's are a little tough. See, right there I would have said I couldn't have done that. So it's the shadow is a little, does affect the readability a little bit there. Something really cool is going to happen in a few here. Trust me. It's like the main feature of this thing. You see the other buttons over there actually do have options. Oh, see, and that is, yeah, that's an empty space. See, a little tough. I believe the scoring is the same. That's why I'm hard dropping, because you get more points for hard dropping. Man, now it's like it wants me to Tetris. It just keeps tempting me. I'm being much better about taking the L, so to speak. That's probably gonna... Oh no, okay. I was gonna say I'll come to regret that later, but it gave me an okay piece. Alright, yep, see, here we go. Nope, just gonna take it. Not playing your game. See, check that out. Level up, the background changes. Gotta love that. Oh, that was a bad read. It's okay, we'll come back. We're still, okay, so if I'm looking at this correctly, this goes all the way down. Oh, I might be able to T-spin right here. Nope. Okay, yeah, there was a piece there. See, it's kind of not ideal. Nor is that piece. This should go all the way. Yeah, well, not all the way, but as much as it could. Get to use my mechanical keyboard this time, so another bonus. Would have rather not have done that one, but oh boy. I feel like I'm getting, like, I'm not waiting on lines all that much. I'm not putting myself in a position where I need them, so that might be the actual trick here, but boy, this is, maybe we're not going to come back from this one, because now we definitely need a line. Don't love that. Okay, that's O piece. Actually did come at the right time. Here we go. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? 4 in a row there? Oh, come on. I'm a nice guy. I deserve a line. Here we go. Wow, that wasn't even enough, though. I was feeling okay about this at the beginning. Now I'm feeling unsure. Could have done without 2 of those in a row. I could do without, like, any piece twice in a row, honestly, most of the time. I'm okay with the music, actually. It's not... Maybe I'm just used to it now. It still sounds like Zelda 2 to me, though. Sounds like Link is having an adventure somewhere. Wrong one. I needed the blue one. Oh. I could turn on the next. That would obviously help. Ooh, level up. But you get a higher score for not having next piece turned on. This is not bad. Ooh, a line at a perfect time. What are we doing here? Again. Although, no, this works too. now I need line again, please. Could I? I'm on level... This is level 2? I like this background better, for readability at least. There's still no holding pieces, so I couldn't have saved that line for later. Wow, little by little, we're just going to make our way here. Laying a line flat. That's like a special... Tetris. Takes a special person. Oh, it's not going to happen with this one. Wow, another fortunate O piece there. So sometimes the pieces do work out. I mean, they definitely work out enough that, you know, the game works. It was still something you wanted to have. I mean, say what you will about Mirrorsoft, especially after they're essentially the bad guys in that Tetris movie, which, again, recommended. But they knew enough to, you know, commit to Tetris pretty hardcore, given how many versions they put out, and they're not, you know, I would say we haven't played a bad one yet. Obviously, they're showing their age here and there, but they're all pretty darn well designed and executed. And in the case of the Commodore 64 version, crazy. We made it back. All right, see if we can get some more drops here while we're low. I'm gonna mess up if I do this though. I sometimes mess up if I do this. Keyboard still not, you know, the way I'm actually used to playing this, although obviously adjusting. I've put myself in a situation now. It's okay. Like I said, I'm adjusting, learning where to take the L. Man, if we do really well on this one, I might just call it a day. As far as the channel goes, I am shooting the bulk of the footage for the first episode of Older School today. So if we do have a good run here up front, then I will definitely take it. Nice, level 4 background. I think that does add some, you know, fun to it. What background is going to be next? Again, this is pre-internet, so it's not like you could go somewhere and look up what all the backgrounds were going to be. You had to do the work. Also, now that we do have the internet, I still haven't gone through and done that, but you could. That's a space, right? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, thankfully they made the first level the probably worst in terms of readability, although that T-piece now looking pretty... Is this like a part of it? Is this... Did they keep that in mind? They're like, it gets this amount of harder to tell where the pieces are with the background? I feel like that's not the way to go. The upside to doing this show at 10 a.m. is that I actually have some faculties left here when it comes to Tetris. Although, it's not like I haven't stayed up until 4 a.m. playing Tetris before. Maybe later, honestly. There was one time, do you guys want to hear about the worst time I have ever stayed up playing Tetris? What else is this show for? It was Tetris Effect. I believe that's a game that has like S ranks and stuff like that. So it has like ranks for, pardon me, how well you do on the levels. And I think it had something to do with speed. Ooh, there's a background for you. So it was like I needed to get the lines out or done in a very quick manner. So it was a lot of quick button presses. And this is the thing about Tetris, right? I don't know if this is the Tetris effect, the actual Tetris effect, where they say, you see lines in your sleep and no, I still do that now. Instead of rotate, I hit space bar when I mean to hit rotate, and then it drops it obviously without rotating it. So still working on that one. So I'm playing Tetris Effect, trying to get these lines in the quickest way possible. I really don't want to put that over there. I don't want to put that over there either, but okay. Yeah, that kind of worked out, actually. Boy. Okay, I'm just going to take it. And, oh, that's what I was talking about. Tetris does have a way of keeping you awake, let's say, regardless of what the actual... Hit spacebar again on accident. Regardless of what the actual Tetris effect is, which has happened to me as well. You see the game after you turn it off in a way. But this was more of a Tetris keeps you so engaged. It's just you don't even think about sleep. You don't even you're not even yawning. You're just like wide-eyed. Hey, Pizza and Planes. That's my brother, probably. Have you ever played this version of Tetris, Pizza and Planes? Yes, definitely. He's either played this or yes, he's my brother. Have I ever told you the story about the time I stayed up late playing Tetris Effect? The worst time? This is on the ZX Spectrum. There's a background. Changes background every time you level up. It's great. Oh, not that great. Oh no, I should put that there. The speed with which this game goes down. Oh no! Why would you do that? This is your fault, Pizza. My name... What's happening here? My name is Ryan. Yeah, first place. Look at that. By a good 10,135 points. Who else is raking it in here? Taff Jones. These are not ones I put in. These would have been ones that are just stock on the game. So, Dennis, or how do you pronounce that? Dennis, maybe? John. Okay, well. What are we doing? 10:24? Hey, Pizza and Planes, should I play one more game or call it a day? The onus is on you now. This is what you get for showing up. Okay, totally play one more. Alright, so this is his fault, everybody. I'm still going to start at level 0. I will go faster, though. What about that? Oh, is that what happens when people press the emoji buttons? Tell me how you stayed up late. Oh, right. Thanks. So yeah, when you play this game, for me anyways, you just, again, sleep does not even become a going concern. Not yawning, just sitting there wide-eyed. So I was playing, okay, again with the readability on this one. That was in space and not a 3D cube. Alright. But since the thing I was trying to do required all these super quick button presses, which means it had me basically, you know, not even blinking while I stared at the screen. I think it was late. Like, I feel like there's no good place to put this piece. I feel like it was 6 a.m. or something like that. I think my wife might have been out of town as well. I mean, if not, she left shortly after. But also because it was, you know, like this is on the Xbox, so I'm just, you know, very small button presses and movements. I gave myself like carpal tunnel for months, I think, from that one night. It eventually went away and I'm doing great, but like I didn't need like surgery or anything either. It was just, hadn't had that happen before. So I would imagine that's the worst it's... Is that the worst it's gotten? Feels like that's the worst. Not a great place for this piece either. Not that it doesn't have me waiting for a line, which we all know how that turns out. Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah, button presses are not coming through sometimes. We're coming back on this one. We're gonna get to ground zero. What do they call that? Level 0? Bottoms? I'm so hardcore pizza and planes. I'm a hardcore Tetris man. Oh, is there wall kicks in this? No wall kicks! What do you expect, though? This is not like they were gonna put... Oh, that's a good question, though. When did wall kicks come in? It's like my favorite new term when it comes to Tetris, so if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, don't worry, I just learned it. Also, but it's the idea that modern Tetris is when you're up against a wall, and if the piece couldn't naturally rotate, you know, like if because it rotates on an axis, a certain axis, if that axis is blocked by the wall, you will not be able to rotate the piece, period. Other modern Tetris games, it'll kick the piece out so you can rotate. So this does not have wall kicks. You actually don't know what a wall kick is? That's just sad. No, it's not. I like the term. I didn't know what it was until I started reading Tetris Wiki, by the way. Again, shout out. A lot of useful information on Tetris Wiki, which is back up and running now. It wasn't up a few weeks ago or whatever that was. Maybe that was Cloud Strike? Is that what it was called? And everything died? I was out of town, so... Not that it didn't affect where I was also, but... Oh, okay, see, that's that same blue speck. Yeah, alright. Let's get off this background, too, if we can. Shouldn't do this. Now I need a line. It's a bad idea. See, we came back, though. No, we didn't. Now I gotta do this. Almost came back. Alright. Taking that L. Okay, see ya. I imagine the music got to him eventually. It's not bad. It becomes a bit much after... What are we going on here? 30 minutes. This might be my favorite background so far. Kind of a hound's tooth we got going on here. So again, the Fuse is definitely the way to go as far as emulating the ZX on the Mac for my money. It's been around for a bit. It seems like kind of a DOS box situation where the version hasn't necessarily changed in many years, but it's because what are you going to change? The retro virtual machine that I used for the Amstrad also will do the ZX. So that was another option that I could have used. It's no shade thrown at the retro virtual machine. It is great, and obviously I wouldn't have used it if it didn't get the job done. But the front end is a bit like there. Why did I do that? The front end is a bit. It's not bad, nor is it much. In fact, it's really, I don't know, cute. That's not the right word. It's like really, a lot of emulators will throw in some, emulation of actually putting the tape in and stuff like that. That the retro virtual machine does that. Like you can simulate putting the tape in. It's got some really cool graphics that, based on the file name, will draw up what that tape labeled with a label maker would look like. So it's cool. I like it, but I will tend towards the no frills emulation where possible, especially since I stream in OBS, so I'm just using window capture for the stream, and if there's less in the window, it can be a little bit of a plus as well. So not even gonna wait around for a line. Okay, and there it is. So yeah, Fuse was just a little bit more frillless, no frills. This is dumb. Using a line to create. Oh, it worked out. So using a line to create a space where you need a line. Not always great, but it worked out. See if I can beat Ryan from 10 minutes ago. Could do that by hard dropping more often. So yeah, if I was trying to beat my score on any other Tetris, I would be doing Tetrises. Obviously that added, and it's we'll get to these, but the smart complementary design choices that they made with the 7-bag system and incentivizing Tetrises with a points bonus obviously complement each other very well. But I guess you could say the reverse is true as well, since I don't have the luxury of depending on a line towards the end of a run. It would make more sense that setting up for a Tetris would not be the way to go. Okay, well, 3 of those in a row. Holy 4! And I've got no place for the 5? Did we just break the game? Okay. Somebody clip out me saying 5 to 5 S pieces in a row. It's the craziest thing that happened to me all day. Nope, not at all. Well, we can kind of salvage this here. Except now I need 2 lines. It's alright. don't enjoy that. Okay, we're gonna take the L here. And I got 2 lines in a row. I can't tell if that's... Okay, we got plenty of time to come back. If it stops giving me O pieces. I'm not gonna make a single line out of this. Okay. That was the worst possible place to put that. Again, the speed with which everything goes wrong on these games is amazing. Not just Tetris in general, obviously Infinite Spin mitigates that a little bit, but that was weird. That was like it cued a move that I was not trying to make. Nope, couldn't make it, and I won't make it. I like the game over screen. That's pretty neat. Maybe that's what I'll use for the thumbnail. It does not feel like I beat Ryan from earlier. I did not. 7,000. Okay. But still. I got to level 6 on the first one, level 4 on that last one. So I will have to go to the internet to see what those later screens look like. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Come back next week for, I believe, we're going to head back into... Definitely muted that before I took my earpiece out. We're going to make our way back to the Amstrad, but with the PCW version, which... I mean, you probably noticed a lot of similarities with each of these when it comes to graphics or title screen or whatever, you know. But I love the look of the Amstrad PCW version. So regardless of how similar it might be, I think it's definitely different enough to give it its own episode. So come back next week for that. Tuesday at 10.